Hey, honey.
Yes, Barry?
Let's get out of here.
Where are we going?
Where do we always go?
Fascina y el viento, este ritmo de palmas, sin ti naturaleza, hasta encontrar la playa. Por eso grito al mundo, yo soy de Puerto Vallarta. Samba de Puerto Vallarta, noche de arrullo en el mar. Samba de Puerto Vallarta.
Hello, fellow travelers, and welcome to this episode of the Puerto Vallarta Travel Show. I'm your host, Barry Kessler, and I'm just so happy to be introducing you to my favorite vacation destination, and maybe it's even yours, and that's Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. That music you're listening to is performed by Alberto Perez, and Alberto is the owner of the Lapa Lapa group of restaurants. Those are the Lapa Lapa, Puerto Vallarta's oldest restaurant on the famous Los Muertos beach, and the El Dorado Restaurant and Beach Club right next door. So you can enjoy that fantastic view of the Los Muertos Pier, all lit up at night in beautiful colors, or during the day in its grand splendor for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, seated with your toes in the sand right at the water's edge. It's so romantic. It's so Puerto Vallarta, my friends. This week we are going to be visiting a really interesting man on the Puerto Vallarta entertainment scene. His name is Kevin Anthony II, and Kevin sings, got a beautiful voice. He performs, he brings his unique, very personable, likable demeanor, his friendly and outgoing brand of showmanship to the Puerto Vallarta stage. You're really going to love Kevin. We're going to go to Nacho Daddy to our open microphone meet and greet where, well, last month, actually the beginning of November, we had a little meetup. We had a great group of listeners stop in and talk about events and about moving to Vallarta, and even had time this week to talk with JR. I did crash his event. I mean, I might as well talk to him, right? It's only fair. But anyway, he got his couple of words of wisdom in. And of course, we know JR from VallartaInfo.com. We have Vallarta news and more. So let's see what's happening this week in Puerto Vallarta, the 31st of December, 2023. And wow, last day of the year. Happy New Year to you. Actually, this show marks the beginning of year number 8 of the podcast. The first episode dropped on December 29th, 2016. So thanks for listening and hanging in there with me. I got a couple emails from some of you I would like to read today. We'll get to those. So thanks so much for those. I really appreciate those emails. I appreciate your listening to me. And hey, let's go maybe a couple more years at least. There's so much more to cover in this town and so much more to bring you as a traveler and someone who maybe even lives in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. Now, that Los Muertos Pier that I talk about every time I begin the podcast got a big old facelift over the last few months, actually 12.5 million pesos worth. And actually, the beginning of December is when all the bigwigs came to inaugurate it. This is from Vallarta Reporter Online. It says, during his December 1st visit to Puerto Vallarta, Governor Enrique Alfaro Ramirez inaugurated the newly rehabilitated Los Muertos Pier, a transformation made possible by a significant investment of 12.5 million pesos from the state's coffers. The governor emphasized the necessity of the overhaul, explaining that the passage of time had taken its toll on the pier's structure, necessitating a comprehensive reconstruction. The pier was showing severe signs of wear and tear, and it was essential to address the damage, he said. A total of 12.5 million pesos were allocated to the project, and according to Alfaro Ramirez, the results speak for themselves. It does look beautiful right now, and at night it looks spectacular, he remarked, attributing to the transformation to an entirely new lighting system that has been installed. The inauguration ceremony drew various dignitaries, including the Mayor of Vallarta, Luis Alberto Michel Rodriguez, and a delegation of state and municipal officials who Probably went right off to party afterwards, of course. David Zamora, Secretary of Infrastructure and Public Works, detailed the technical aspects of the renovation. Carbon fiber reinforced all beams, and the entire structure underwent reassembly, removing corroded parts and adding protective sacrificial anodes to prevent metal corrosion. Additionally, benches were rehabilitated, and the pier where tourists embark and disembark was reinforced. Governor Alfaro also revealed plans to equip the pier with Jalisco network infrastructure, which will provide visitors with access to high-speed internet. How fun is that? So everybody can sit there and stare at their phones while they're on the pier. The renovated Los Muertos Pier, with its blend of aesthetic appeal and structural integrity, not only marks a significant milestone in the ongoing efforts to enhance Puerto Vallarta's infrastructure, but it also stands as a testament to the successful collaboration between government agencies and the community. And I have a link to that article from Vallarta Reporter Online. It's in the show notes, of course. Now, if you don't have a paid subscription to Vallarta Reporter Online like I do, it won't work for you. Sorry about that. But hey, just listen to the podcast for all that information, all that important stuff. Hey, I read it for you already, right? So the governor of Jalisco came to visit, and the Pope came to Mexico to bless and to join in the inauguration of the Tren Maya. Tren Maya is the pet project of AMLO, which, I still haven't talked about. Sorry about that. It's coming soon, I promise. Lots of developments, actually, regarding trains in Mexico, and we're going to be talking about that really soon. So it is the 31st of December, and if you are in town, you need to brace yourselves for quite a fireworks show with lots of music for everybody. Here, this is from vivapuertovallarta.mix. Puerto Vallarta will have a great party in the heart of the city to say goodbye to 2023 and welcome 2024 with an attractive program organized by the municipal government that will begin at 6 in the afternoon at Arcos del Malecon. This December 31st, and the first hours of the new year throughout the Vallartensis Institute of Culture in coordination with CIAPAL Vallarta and the Directorate of Tourism and Economic Development. The program will begin with the presentation of the northern group Los Tres del Ranchito. That will be at 7:30. Live mariachi music. At 8:15, the stage will welcome the Vallarta band Comando MR with its attractive melodies, moving lyrics in its distinctive fusion of Latin rhythms and traditional Mexican sounds. And at 10:15 p.m., the group will make its appearance Versatile Los Dianaticos with its great repertoire and guaranteed atmosphere with cumbia, salsa, merengue, grupera, northern ballads, rock in English and Spanish, music from memory, and more. So lots of great musical talent with the latest Latin beats. So you got to be there, be ready to have fun, and ring in the new year tonight on the Malecon in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. I have a link to that article from vivapuertovallarta.com in the show notes. Check it out. Now, I don't know if I've mentioned or not to you this, but right now we are right in the middle of whale watching season. It's in full swing, and if you're planning on being in Puerto Vallarta during this time of year, well, actually within the next few months, you might want to book a whale watching tour. If you don't do that, if you don't want to sit out on the water looking, chasing, mammals, sea mammals, then just you can watch it. Sometimes you can actually see it from the shore. So keep your eyes peeled, scan the bay. You just look around for like the little spouts, the little misty spout from one of those humpback whales out there doing their yearly migration, having babies, and fool around and maybe make some more babies. That's what they do, and that's what they're doing out there. So watch the water. You never know what you might see. Gary Thompson and his Malecon Sculpture Tour will be beginning in a week. They're going to start a little bit late. He had to postpone the regular start to his tours that he gives every year during high season in Puerto Vallarta. He usually starts in November, but because it was really hot in November, and some of Gary's assistants had some issues pop up at the same time. So here's what Gary says. He says the first sculpture tour of the year will be Tuesday, January 9th, starting at 9:30 a.m. at the Millennium Sculpture by the rear of the Hotel Rosita and the north end of the Malecon. We're hoping to get your help then and now as we seek to get this popular tour up to the levels and attendance that it enjoyed before losing its momentum after missing a season due to government COVID closures. Although the tour is free and it doesn't require a ticket or reservation, there is an opportunity at the end to voluntarily make a donation to our local nonprofit Los Mangos Library and Cultural Center, which depends on fundraising rather than government support in order to operate. Thanks in advance, and I send wishes that you have a very happy holiday. Peace and love, Gary Thompson. So thank you, Gary. Thank you. And by the way, Gary's gallery, Galleria Pacifico, has moved. It moved to a new location. It is at 259C Calle Hidalgo. It's just about 120 feet south of the church. Of the one with the nice crown on it. I have a map that'll take you right to his new location, and it's in the show notes. And thank you, Gary. Thanks for volunteering for the Biblioteca Los Mangos. And, that is a sweet little library right in the middle of Puerto Vallarta. So go ahead, go learn about the sculptures. And when you do, you can donate. And, of course, he's doing that, like I said earlier, every Tuesday morning, starting at the Millennium Sculpture over at the Hotel Rosita, right by their pool, all right? So get over there. Vete. Also remember that there is an art walk that takes place every Wednesday in downtown Puerto Vallarta. It's in the evenings. Let me give you a quick synopsis from their website. Puerto Vallarta has established itself as a vibrant center of art creation, exhibition, and promotion. An important contribution to the city's art scene is Puerto Vallarta's Art Walk, which this year will be held every Wednesday from 6 until 10 p.m. from October 25th until June 26, 2024. The participating galleries in Centro Historico exhibit works by important national and international artists, remarkable paintings, exceptional sculptures, fine ceramics, and jewelry are offered. And now there are 17 galleries that are participating this year. It's a really fun way, by the way, to spend some time taking in some of that incredible talent in this town. I've got a link to their webpage with all of the participating galleries and a map and hours. And again, it's every Wednesday from 6 until 10 until the end of June. And that is at PuertoVallartaArtWalk.com. 10 Puerto Vallarta restaurants made the best list for all of Mexico. This list came out last month. It was put out by the food reservation apps, OpenTable and Time Out. And according to them, 10 Puerto Vallarta restaurants made the list of the best in all of Mexico. Now, we've got this all in alphabetical order. And 100% Vegan Taqueria was number 16 on Time Out. I've never heard of that place. Have you heard of that place? Evidently, people like takeout over there at the Vegan Taqueria. Cafe de Artistas made Open Tables list. La Capella Italian Cuisine made Open Tables list. Hacienda San Angel Gourmet made the Open Table list. The Iguana Restaurant and Tequila Bar made the Open Table list. Mezcal y Sal was number 11 on Time Out. The Ocean Grill made the Open Table list. La Tienda Grande, I love that place. I could eat there every day. Number 3 on Time Out. Tintoque made Open Table. And Vivero Wine Bar, number 19 on Time Out. So, hey, good for all those restaurants. I know we've been to a few of those on the podcast, but it looks like, it looks like we need to do a little work here. I need to make a list. And speaking of doing some work, I've been asked by listener Jeff from Minnesota to review that list of best honest margaritas in Puerto Vallarta. Here's Jeff's email. He says, Barry, we are in Puerto Vallarta now. Just listened to your latest podcast and had to respond. We've already hit the Circle Bar and La Huerta, the old El Rio barbecue, among others. Highly recommended both places. Had a nice chat with the guy that you interviewed at La Huerta, Jesus. He definitely remembered you. Have also been to San Lucas twice, thinking that is a margarita place you talked about in the previous podcast. Margaritas were fishbowl sized at each place and all very good. We're going to be stopping at Culture and Frida 4.0 next week. Anyway, with high season coming soon, maybe you want to mention on a future podcast some of the margarita places noted previously as a refresher for your listeners. Also, one better have a high alcohol tolerance if you're going to hit all four places in one day. Haha. Take care, Jeff and Joe from Minnesota. And then I got this one actually from Aaron. Aaron says, hi, Barry. I can't recall which episode it was, but you mentioned a place up the Rio Quale River that one could take a bus to or pay to have a taxi drop you off and pick up. I can't find which show it was. What is the show and what is the name of the restaurant? I want to go when I am in paradise next. I went to Camixto and I met Andreas over at Andy Bar. That guy is great. Yes, he is. I love Andy. And so is his spot. So, and Aaron, by the way, that spot is called El Moro Paraíso. And it's up in Paseo del Guayabo. It's up the river in the Ejido. And by the way, speaking of the Ejido and up the river, there is a new addition to that world's longest expansion, that hanging bridge, the Hurlo Bridge up at Canopy River there. That's, of course, that is a little bit above El Moro Paraíso. If you look up the hill from El Moro, you can actually see it up there. And they have a see-through platform. It's suspended up there, like it's kind of like a big old glass-bottom boat. Now, it's not free, but it does look like a lot of fun. And if you haven't been up to that restaurant up there that they have up at Canopy River for their all-you-can-eat weekend brunch, you really are missing out. You got to go there, check it out at least once, okay? They do it Saturday and Sunday. If you make it up there, make reservations. Make sure you do that. And, make it part of your weekend one day. You won't be disappointed. Now, as for the list, they have this, it's like built into this, I'm sorry. So this glass bottom platform is like built into the bridge. It's kind of, I don't know. I guess it'd be kind of freaky. I guess some of you got to try it. Do it. Let me know what you think. Now, let's go back to the list. We have a list here. I'm going to have it in the show notes. Now, my favorite so far is Restaurant San Lucas. They are right in the romantic zone. Bar La Playa is pretty darn good. All handmade. It's good stuff. Listener Laura, she wrote about the LSD margarita. You remember that? Over at Casa Tradicional, over there on Calle Hidalgo. I have not tried that one yet. We're going to have to try that. Let's see. Don't forget, there's the As Big As Your Head a fishbowl margarita over at Pepe's. La Playita up in Conchas Chinas. That is on the list. El Moro Paraíso, the one we just talked about with Aaron. That is up in Paseo del Guayabo. And Culture up in the Zona Romantica. So those are the ones that are on my list so far. And let me know if I forgot any. If you've sent me any and I've forgotten them, I am sorry. Let me know. And if you've got some that you want to add to the list, make sure they're good. All right, we're looking for the honest margarita, the one that'll kick your butt. All you need is one kind of thing, that thing. Anyway, that list needs to get bigger. Speaking about tequila, it's interesting. Doing what I do, a lot of times after an interview, I'm sitting at a restaurant or at a club or, somewhere where my guest invites me to sip on an adult beverage, okay? Sometimes it's tequila or raicilla, and a lot of times it's like their special brand. It's like their special, like, family brand. And it's booze that's been altered, okay? It's been enhanced. It's been infused with a particular flavor. Now, for example, one morning, I was out there at Andales having a little breakfast, and Jorge Zambrano comes rolling out of there. He breaks out a bottle of tequila with his label on it that he had the tequila aged in an oak cask, which gave it an incredible flavor. It was delicious. Let's see, I had a couple of flavored tequilas and raicillas up in Camixto, over at El Volador, over with Germán. He pulls these things out, and he had the Cuastico Mate raicilla, and he had something else too. Jesus over at La Huerta. By the way, if you are at La Huerta, ask the bartender to make you his creamed raicilla. It'll blow your mind. But anyway, he had a couple of them too. He had a couple of these infused raicillas and tequilas, and it got me thinking that when I was a little kid, my mom used to make her own Kahlua. It's that Mexican coffee drink. I don't know if you've ever had that kind of liqueur there, but she used to make that under the sink. She'd buy a bottle of cheap vodka, and then she'd mix it up. And here, let me read here. This is how she would make it. It says you take 4 cups of water, you take a cup of instant coffee crystals like Folgers or whatever, 2 cups of light brown sugar, 2 cups of lightly packed dark brown sugar, and then a big bottle of like a 750 milliliter bottle of vodka, and 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, and a vanilla bean that's split lengthwise and halved. And you take the water and the instant coffee, you bring it to a boil, you add the brown sugar, you turn down the heat, you simmer it, you stir it, you reduce it down for about 15 minutes, and then you let it cool down completely, right? Then pour it into a big old mason jar, and then she'd add the vodka and the vanilla bean and the vanilla extract, and then she'd seal it up, and then she'd let it sit under the sink, like in a dark place, for like 4 weeks. And every once in a while, she'd shake the bottle up just to kind of get it all mixed up. And then she would take that, after 4 weeks had come by, and she'd put it into smaller bottles, and she'd give it away as gifts. But what she really liked to do with it, she'd like to keep some of it, and she'd make she would make chocolate chip Kahlua milkshakes, as a treat after running after 4 little kids all day long. Of course, hey, she waited until the end of the day when Dad was home. She was not a day drinker, but she loved that stuff. So anyway, I'm thinking to myself, why can't I do that with tequila? So I looked up infused tequila on the interwebs, and lo and behold, you can actually take a fairly inexpensive tequila and make it taste out of this world. Seriously. You pick a fruit, something that you think will pair really well with your tequila, and give it a try. So here's what I did. After reading the suggestions on the interwebs, first of all, they tell you to use white tequila. So I used 3 different kinds. I used Centenario Plata, I used Cazadores Blanco, and I used Hornitos Plata. All of them fairly inexpensive, but decent tequila. I sterilized pint-sized mason jars. I boiled them. I let them cool down, and then I added half of a chopped jalapeno. They were washed. I left the seeds on, everything like that, and I popped them into a couple of the jars. Then I added a cut-up slice of canned pineapple to a couple of those other jars. And in some of the other ones, I put some pineapple and some sun-dried strawberries into them. I'm serious. I put the lids on. By the way, I did not boil those lids. I just put them. I boiled the jars. I didn't boil the lids. Then I put those on. I put the jars in the refrigerator for 4 days, and every day I'd kind of give them a little gentle shake. And let me tell you something. We were blown away with the results. They say, by the way, that you can keep infused tequila in the refrigerator for a couple months, but I don't know. I don't know who could actually keep it for a couple of months. I'd be drinking it really darn quick. But anyway, they say just make sure that you give the mixture a little sniff test if you're going to keep it in the refrigerator for that long of a time. And by the way, you keep the fruit in the whole time. You don't take it out. At least that's what we did. And then what we do is we strained the liquid when we poured it off into a glass. I guess you can eat the jalapenos when you're done, but I never tried it. But I'm going to tell you something. You got to try this out. And, I'm as much as I hate to be a bad influence on all of you, but I had to tell you the story. But I do, as you know, I do push the green hippie lettuce a lot. So I figured it's time to go full bore on the infused tequila. Why not? And by the way, they say here on the internet, the other items you can put in your infused tequila are habanero pepper. Wow, that must be nice. They say almost any herb or spice or fruit, citrus like lime or orange or lemon, all that can be used. Just make sure that they're fresh and they're washed and they're clean. Let me tell you, it is delicious. My New Year's drinking tip to you. You're welcome. Now, speaking about tequila and drinking, let's get to the meet and greet over at Nacho Daddy and start some things off, shall we? Whenever I get a chance to spend some time in Puerto Vallarta, I'd like to drop in on JR's weekly meetup that he has over at Nacho Daddy right now, over in the Zona Romantica. JR meets up with friends and fans around 6:30 for a couple hours to tip a couple of drinks and meet with friends and travelers looking for tips and suggestions about all things Puerto Vallarta. So when I asked my listeners to stop in if they were in town, now, this was the beginning of November, so this is about 2 months ago. We had a very good turnout. First, I have Catherine Caldera. Catherine's been on the show a couple of times. This time she wanted to talk about expats learning English. So let's go right now to Nacho Daddy over at Basilio Badillo 287, and let's see what Catherine has to say. Catherine, thanks for coming to our meet and greet. Thanks for coming on the show.
Barry, thank you so much for having me. It's great to be on your show again. I appreciate all your hard work that you put into these to keep the community connected and educated about what each other are doing.
Yeah, well, I appreciate what you do here. What brings you to Nacho Daddy today?
Well, first, we want to thank them for hosting us, of course.
Yeah.
And you know that they just celebrated their quinceañera.
They did. Their 15th
Amazing, anniversary.
Right?
And they do a lot of connecting people and work like you do with nonprofits and help get the word out. And
yeah, they're great.
Yeah,
and
we love Nacho Daddy.
And if you're in town, if the band's playing upstairs, it's always great to go sit up there, have a drink, and just kick back and relax. Enjoy a little air conditioning. It's all good.
I've been here 3 out of the last 5 days, and I don't even live close anymore. But it was the Texas Embassy Blues Band on Friday night. I came for trivia on Monday night. Here I am with you on a Tuesday. So
wow,
yeah.
There you go. What do you came prepared to talk about something something that happens in Vallarta that we know about actually a little bit.
I've got some news about the American English Tree School here in Puerto Vallarta. I know you know Eddie Rodriguez, and he's been on your show. Very well-known guy in the community. If any expats out there are listening and have been putting off really getting a better mastery of Spanish, I've got a really great opportunity that they can take advantage of through the American English Tree School.
Okay, let's hear about it.
Yeah.
You know, there's plenty of Americans around here that and Canadians.
Mm-hmm.
They need to learn a little Spanish, don't they?
Right. You know, next season I'll do it.
Yeah.
I'm a little busy
Put it
this
off.
month. But one thing maybe a lot of people don't know is when you sign up for classes with the American English Tree School, part of your fees go to sponsor a Mexican child taking English classes, which, as you know, is a huge advantage, a huge leg up in life for them to be able to be bilingual, especially starting at a young age. That's just the best time. So that's just a really nice component of it, too. You can meet the child that you're sponsoring. You can take pictures, become buddies, bring little presents, share a little lunch together, you know, whatever you want to do. Yeah. So I think a lot of us, we want to connect with Mexico and our neighbors here on a deeper level, but we kind of don't know where to start, and that can be a lovely way to do it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And classes for expats to take in Spanish are still being offered just a couple blocks away here in Zona Romantica.
Yeah, where's he teaching these classes?
It's by the Medicist Hospital.
Okay.
And I'm going to say my contact information at the end.
Okay,
Anybody's
great.
welcome to get a hold of me, and I can help place you in the right level of class. So you can come down here to Old Town and take some English classes. Or Eddie is just opening a new location in Plaza Caracol.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So for folks who want to learn Spanish and they have a car and they want to drive, you're going to have a lot more parking opportunities at Plaza Caracol than you will down here in Zona Romantica. But that's going to be nice. It's by the McDonald's.
Okay.
And again, I'll have all those addresses if people want to contact me. Just to share, I'm an English professor in California, and I'm teaching some of the English classes for Mexican citizens. I don't want to get my English and Spanish people mixed up. And of all the curriculums I've seen in language schools throughout my career, I have to say Eddie's is one of the best, if not my absolute favorite. It's just logically laid out. It's progressive. It gets you practice doing all the things you need: listening, reading, speaking, writing, reacting in conversation. I just really highly recommend. The books are all written 100% by Eddie himself, so it is an original curriculum. It's just a lot of fun. You're going to meet other people like yourself who are trying to learn Spanish, and I just love learning. It's fun to have homework again. Right? Keep those brain cells.
Oh, yeah.
I think if we don't use it, we lose it.
Absolutely.
So as long as we're still,
there's a lot of brain cells get used around here. Wait, we are in a drinking spot, aren't we? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, right.
There goes some right now, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, it's nice to get that brain working again and thinking.
And be able to have more meaningful conversations with the kind and wonderful Mexican people all around us. So I am on Facebook. My name is Catherine Beagley Caldera on Facebook with 2 C's. I'm Catherine Caldera. Can I leave my WhatsApp number?
Well, I could have that. I'll have it in the show notes.
Oh, great.
Okay,
Thanks.
so we'll have it there.
Thank you so much.
And so if you're interested in getting a hold of Catherine, I'll have all her information there in the show notes. Of course, you can find it at www.puertovallartatravelshow.com. And right in our meet and greet show notes, you'll find them right there.
I can get you a free week just to try the classes.
Oh, wow.
So definitely reach out for me, and I can help you navigate and figure out your level. If you're not sure if you're level 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, we can work that out together and find a time and a place. And he also offers online lessons as well. I personally, old school, learn much better in person. I like the camaraderie that way.
Oh,
but
yeah.
There are choices, and it's for a great cause.
Yeah, you're going to be helping a kid learn English.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, that's fantastic.
Good.
Catherine, anything else you want to add? Anything else you got for us?
If you want to check out the Nacho Daddy website, I've been so pleased to be writing some articles for them.
Oh, really? Cool.
Yeah, so we had one about I wrote one about their Halloween party and their 15th anniversary. one about the Texas Embassy Blues Band, which, as you know, lights it up upstage.
Oh, yeah.
Every Friday night, and one on Kevin Anthony and his shows. So I hope to get to help out more. That's really been an honor.
Fantastic. I'm going to have Kevin on the show actually in just a couple of weeks. I've got him all lined up. So
you have Kevin?
Good. Yeah, I sure do.
Oh, good. Yeah, he's just a really personable and fun and articulate guy.
What a nice guy.
Yeah.
What a great guy. Yeah.
Great talent.
Yeah, well, Catherine, thank you so much. Thanks for coming and joining us today, and making my meet and greet what it really is. Full of information for my listeners so that they can, take advantage of what is going on in town.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks again, Barry. Mil gracias.
Perfecto.
A ti.
Perfecto. Look at that.
Okay.
A native speaker.
All right. We'll chat soon. Thanks, Barry.
All right. Thank you, Catherine. I have Catherine's WhatsApp number in the show notes. Please go ahead and contact her. She can help you get started at the right level. You're going to be helping yourself as well as a Mexican child. Isn't that great? By the way, Eddie Rodriguez just got engaged to be married. So congratulations, Eddie. Way to go, brother. Now, next up, we have a listener, Jim Duche, by way of Sacramento, California. He has one foot in Mexico and the other in the United States. Let's meet Jim right now. Jim, thanks for coming to the meet and greet.
No problem. Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. You're here with your wife. Where are you from? What brings you to Puerto Vallarta?
Sure. Actually, she's not my wife.
Oh,
she refuses to marry me.
Really?
That's a whole long story.
We won't talk about that.
No, but we've been together for about 13 years. I retired from Sacramento Fire, and she retired from Sacramento Police.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So that's where we met.
I know couples that are like that.
Yeah. I mean, we were both working at headquarters. We're both going through divorces, which isn't anything I recommend.
Don't.
But we just hit it off, so we've been together ever since. I started bringing her down to Mexico. We went to Cabo a few times, Playa del Carmen, and then I realized that once we retired, we were going to be coming down here more often, obviously, because we both loved it. So I said, before we make any long-term plans, you've never been to Puerto Vallarta, so I want to take you here.
So you'd been there before.
I had been here a couple times, cruise years ago, and then with some friends years ago. And so we got to at least check it out. And I explained to her it's jungle and it's the ocean, but it's not the Caribbean, blah, blah, blah. And so the first time we came, I'll never forget, man. We got off the plane, walked out of that crowded airport, and I stopped her and I said, Debbie, look at me. And she goes, what's the matter? I go, just look at me. And she goes, what? And I had a big smile on my face. And I said, babe, I don't know what it is about this place. I never felt this way in Cabo, never in Playa del Carmen. I've been to Mazatlan, same thing. And I go, I've read that there's like some special atmosphere here or whatever. I don't know. But I go, I don't know what it is. I'm just happy here. So the first time we were here, we stayed for, I think, 10 days at Villa del Palmar, which is a decent resort.
Not bad, yeah.
And one day we're sitting out at the pool, listening to the Beach Boys and eating cheeseburgers, and I looked at her and I go, babe, this is great, but it's not Mexico. So we made a commitment then to never do that again, and since then, we've been coming back and we stay. We started doing Airbnbs, but this time we have a real estate agent, and we're here for a year.
Oh, wow.
And we may make it our permanent home. We just don't know yet.
Fantastic. Wow, how exciting is that? So the year thing, I mean, is that something, have you worked on your
residency?
Residency? Yes, thank you.
Yes, I shoot from the hip.
Uh-huh.
I don't make long-term plans. I said, hey, let's just go down for a year. Our friend Scott and Marianne together we found our place. Uh-huh. They checked it out. We have a really good real estate agent. We're just renting, kind of in the central area by Barcelona Tapas off of Calle Allende in that area.
Nice view?
We have we're not that high up, but we do have a little bit of a view.
Okay.
And we love it. Our neighbors have kind of adopted us. And it's a Mexican neighborhood, and it's what we want. You know what I mean? It's not, I don't want to be, not knocking people that go to resorts at all, but it's just not us. I want to live in their culture.
Yeah.
So we're doing that.
Well, you are, and so what's keeping you from making that last step?
Debbie has 4 adult kids in California. I have 2 in Idaho. 5 grandkids there. Both of my daughters have said, "Dad, stop being stupid. If you're happy there, then that's what we want."
Yeah.
It's still a hard trigger to pull.
Oh yeah.
Regardless of what we end up doing, we're definitely coming back here forever.
Right.
I just love it here. I can't explain it. I've told you that. So I don't know. I mean, I'm real close to saying, let's just do it. We'll find a different place to live. We rented a little bit bigger than what we really need, and just keep it. And we could come whenever we want or whatever until we make a final decision.
Right.
Healthcare at our age and stuff too. It's always a concern.
Right.
But in all honesty, we both have been to hospitals here for different reasons, and the healthcare here is amazing.
It is amazing, isn't it?
Yeah. No, I know it's the private side of it, but they've treated us so good, and neither one of us have any complaints.
Yeah. All right, you've been here a little while. Let's talk a little bit about kind of integrating into this kind of a lifestyle, because a lot of people, they come here and it's like drinking every day, and it's like party, and then they're dead like in 8 months. So you're not doing that. I'm looking at you right now, Jim. You look okay. You look all right.
I feel like I'm okay. We don't party every day. We cook at home most days, or I do. I love to cook. A night like tonight, we get out probably once or twice a week. I'm a coffee guy. I get up in the morning and go get coffee.
All right, where's your coffee, sir?
I love my walking.
Where do you go? Where do you get your coffee?
Where do I get it?
Yeah.
There's a couple places in Cinco de Cimbre, but my favorite place is D's.
Okay.
Down by the pier.
By the pier, yeah.
It's kind of an expat hangout, but we were there in the summer. There was no expats, and she keeps it open, and it's just a great place. I love going there almost every morning.
Right. Yeah. So skip your Starbucks, go to D's, right?
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah. It's just the coffee's better, and I rather help local people. But it's just I don't know, man. There's so much about being here. People, I mean, you said about being on vacation, and my kids tell me, "Dad, you're on vacation." No, I'm not on. When I retired, I'll never be on vacation again. This is our life now, and I don't party every day. Some of the party places on the Malecon, we don't do none of that.
Right.
And that's when we were younger, I guess. I just like being in the neighborhood. Our neighbors have been so good to us. We have a neighbor across the street that's a sign painter by trade.
Yeah.
He made us a coffee table, and he's called me his family. And where do you get that?
Yeah.
I mean, that's huge to me.
Well, you got to be a good guy to get that back too, So I can see that, Jim, that you are.
I hope so.
So, how's your Spanish?
My Spanish is horrible. It's kind of funny. I grew up in South Sacramento.
Yeah.
Worked most of my fire department career in South Sacramento, heavily Hispanic area. I never even had Mexican food until I was in high school. My mom was Portuguese. She didn't like the spicy, so I just never did. And since we've come here, through friends, we started taking Spanish lessons. A young guy from Alaska, of all places, he came to Mexico years ago, and he taught doctors in Mexico City Spanish. And so through Scott Marianne, we started taking lessons. We've been away from him now for about 2 months. We got to go back. We've learned so much, still not even close to being fluent. But more importantly, from him, because he's lived in Mexico so long, we've learned a lot of the culture.
Yeah.
And there's so much I had no idea. Just like saying gracias, thank you, the tip of the hat. He told me to do that when we're crossing a crosswalk gracias. And I'm like, his name's Pablo. Pablo, if I do that, the guy's going to get out of his car and come and kick my butt. Absolutely not. That's thank you to them. And you do that when you get some of the vendors or whatever. You don't want to buy nothing. Just say gracias, and they leave you alone. They kind of know that they understand that you know a little bit more than a typical tourist. And
that's great. That's great advice too. By the way,
it's good advice.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
We didn't realize that families in neighborhoods to call their kids in, they have a unique whistle. I didn't know that.
Oh yeah.
So we're hearing whistles at night. Now I know they're calling, so-and-so's calling their family in.
Come home, right.
So it's just the culture. I love different cultures, and I don't want to be here and be around. I don't want to just be in a resort and not learn the Mexican culture or the culture here in Puerto Vallarta. And it's great. We love it.
Oh, that's fantastic. Now you were talking about Scott and Marianne. Yeah, Scott and Marianne, they've been on the show. You got TV Marianne. She was on
Good Day Sacramento.
Good Day Sacramento. Yeah. Okay, so how do you know Scott and Marianne?
Well, when I retired from the fire department, we have a charity in Sacramento, the Firefighters Burn Institute. We work with Shriners and UC Davis, the burn units. It's a charity. Years and years ago, you could Google it. There was a horrible plane crash in Sac at a Farrell's ice cream parlor. Killed like 23 people.
Wow.
And that's what started our charity. There was no burn care in Sacramento. I'm getting way off the track, but it's important. So anyways, one of her good friends, a guy named Marcus Allen, who's big in, he does like the Hollywood reporting. His son was actually burned. And so I called on him. We were here, and I called to say, hey, buddy, how's your kid doing? He's like, hey, thank you. He's doing good, blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, we're down in Puerto Vallarta. And he goes, hey, do you know Scott and Marianne are living there? And I go, well, I don't know Scott, but I barely know Marianne. But let her know that I'm here, and I'll buy her a margarita. So she agreed to hook up with us. And I didn't really know her that well. She was an anchor. I was usually out in the field at scenes of big fires, blah, blah, blah. So we hooked up. We went and had dinner at Barcelona Tapas. First thing she looked at me and said, I didn't realize you were bald because you always had a fire helmet on. So the four of us have hit it off. They have a lot of other friends that we've met. They have been so helpful to us. They know that we are thinking seriously about moving here. We weren't feeling good a week or two ago. They brought us soup. They've taken us places. They've kind of put us under their arm and just showed us around, and they're amazing people.
They're a great couple. They're a great couple. They're funny. I loved having them on the show. Yeah. All right, let's talk a little bit about your favorite restaurants. What's your favorite breakfast spot? You got a favorite breakfast spot?
Not my pronunciation is horrible.
Okay.
Quinte. You just said it today.
Okay.
Quintes.
Cuates y Cuetes.
Say it again.
Cuates y Cuetes.
Cuantes y Cuentes. That's probably our favorite breakfast place.
Okay, great.
We've got to know some of the waiters there. Dee's Coffee, obviously, is right around the corner.
Yeah.
It's more of a light breakfast. But yeah, that place.
That's your breakfast shot.
Yeah. It's
all right.
Really
so what about lunch? What do you like for midday meals?
God,
I know Debbie. Debbie's going to be cooking for you. I know.
No.
No.
I was a fireman, man.
Oh, you do the cooking.
Yeah.
Oh, bro. Okay.
She'll look at you and say,
Shit,
no, she does the
cook,
cleanup.
right?
I cook.
Okay.
Lunch is different because we don't normally go out. We may go out to an early dinner, and our dinner place is La Playita in Conchas Chinas.
Beautiful, yeah.
It's the atmosphere there, the view, the beach. No, but it's unheard of. And the food's really good.
Yeah.
I know I think their bar got damaged in the hurricane.
Yeah, they did. But just a couple more days, they'll be all better.
We haven't been there in probably 2 months, but that's probably our favorite place.
Yeah.
And
good margaritas there.
Absolutely. You know what though? I've learned to like the palomas.
Oh, yeah. You do the paloma. Huh?
Yes.
So you go for the squirt.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm starting to really like that.
All right, tell everybody what's in a paloma. What's in a paloma? Come on, Jim.
It's a grapefruit soda, so Fresca or squirt, lime juice, salt, and a good Blanco tequila.
Okay.
And my tequila, I buy it right across the street from here, and this is my pronunciation's horrible. I tell people I can't speak English right. Cientos Leguas. 7 leagues.
7 leagues.
It's a really good tequila. It's no additives. I found a website you can go to, and it's just really, really good tequila.
Yeah, and you can get it local here?
Right across the street.
Oh, right.
At the liquor store there. That's my favorite place to go.
Vinos Americanos, right over there, okay?
Oh, yeah.
Remember, if you're going to buy a liquor in town, that's where you're going to buy it. It's over there. They've got everything you need. It's
they
all
do.
Right
they
there.
have it all.
And, they got JR's Presidente, so they got everything that you need,
I didn't know. I didn't know
they
that
got
about JR.
Yeah. Well, all you have to do, if you want to make JR happy, you bring them either some black tea or some Presidente. That's all you got to do.
Okay.
Right. Well, maybe a little weed, but I don't know about that.
That's...
Okay.
You've been to help with that issue too.
Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah. All right. How about? So you said you talked about dinner. Dinner was the
Playita.
The La Playita.
Yeah, there at the Lindomar Resort.
Yeah. It's just right up the street.
Yeah.
Right up the street. Have you taken any trips? Any day trips?
Scott Marianne took us, and I can't remember the name of it. It's a little rancheria up in the hills where they have the little freshwater pools.
Okay.
We've done that. We've been to Sayulita. Love San Pancho, San Francisco. Oh, my God.
Oh, beautiful, isn't it?
It's been about a year since we've been. There's so much else we haven't seen. The other day we did a day pass at a resort in Punta Mita.
Okay, tell us about that. How did that happen? How did that work out? First of all, what did it cost you? How
it was not. It was all inclusive, so it was for the two of us about $280 US.
Okay. All right.
It was just like we needed a day away.
Sure. Was it overnight? It was a day.
No, just day pass at the Secrets/Dreams.
Okay, over in Punta de Mita.
Yes, it was absolutely gorgeous.
Okay.
We've done day passes like at the Marina Marriott, the West End. Every now and then, too, we'll treat ourselves, since I have a bunch of Marriott points, so we'll stay at a resort just to do nothing.
Have somebody help you out with stuff, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And so the day pass thing...
That sounds very interesting. So let me ask you, was it worth it?
Yes.
That Punta de Mita one was worth it?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And it's a little bit of a drive to get there.
Yeah, it is.
There's more and more traffic here now than there's ever been. It was still really worth it. We had a really good day. They take good care of you. The food, the drinks. We were at the pool all day, but the beach is beautiful.
Yeah.
It was great.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll have that in the show notes so people can take a look at that and maybe have a little fun out. Have a little fun out in Punta de Mita. I got to get out there. I've been out there since there was nothing there.
It's...
I was out there in 1984. There was nothing there.
I imagine there was absolutely nothing.
I got to get out there.
Yeah.
I got pictures.
Nothing. Probably nothing.
Nothing there.
Well, Bucerias has got...
Palapas. There were palapas, yeah. Oh, I know. I got pictures. I'll show you.
Bucerias has gotten big. Sayulita has gotten... A good buddy of mine on the fire department retired and lives in Sayulita. I haven't gone to see him, and I will. It's been a while since we've been there, but we really kind of fell in love with San Pancho.
Yeah, San Pancho is a pretty cool place.
More laid back, and people surf there. They have restaurants. They've got everything you need.
Yeah, the restaurants are great. Lots of restaurants.
It's just not as crowded, And
yeah.
We've gone to the botanical gardens, Boca de Talon. Haven't been to Yalapi yet, and I really, really want to go.
Yeah.
And we will. We've got nothing but time, so we'll do it all. There's so much that the lady that you just talked to, Catherine, talked about Ajijic, and it's a place we're kind of interested in, so we may go check it out too. But I don't know what it is about this town. I tell people back home, Puerto Vallarta is not for everybody. It's for us, man. I can't describe it. I just don't know. Every time we leave here, I miss it. And we were just back. We went down to San Diego. A nephew got married in Aliso Viejo, which is inland from Laguna
It's beautiful.
Beach.
Beautiful, yeah.
Really pretty.
Yeah.
We were in Sacramento twice, Boise twice. Went to New York City. I'd never been. Absolutely love New York City. But I miss being here.
Yeah.
I really do. And Puerto Vallarta is a small town. It's really not that big. And I ran into a guy that we were here in January for the month. He was sitting at the bar here. And we've only been here a handful of times. And I went up to him and said, buddy, were you here in January? Yeah, he goes, yeah, I remember you. It's just...
It's that way. It is.
It's the way it is here.
Yeah.
I love
it. Sure
it.
Is. Well, you're not alone. I mean, there are many people just like you. They don't know what it is, but whatever it is keeps bringing them back and keeps bringing them back to even kind of, I don't know, Jim, like live here.
Oh, yeah. There's a real good chance. We'll never get rid of our home in Boise. We have a little tiny house kind of right in downtown. Love our neighborhood. Just don't love the winters there.
Yeah, well,
I'm from California, and
they don't want you there, bro. You know that.
A lot of Idahoans don't.
Oh, they don't. No. They got a little sign out there in front of Idaho that says, "If you're from California, don't bother."
Don't even bother.
I got a story to tell you about that. I sell houses, and I got a client who went and bought a property in Idaho, and she had some guy. She called up some guy to put up a barn in her yard, and he wouldn't do it. When he found out that she was from California. It's amazing. So, come to Mexico. Screw that.
Oh, yeah, I know.
All right.
My oldest daughter sells real estate in Boise. She's done really well. But her niche is kind of California people.
Yeah.
Because
Is she hated?
Does she hate being in Idaho?
No. Is she hated because of that? Because she's bringing Californians in?
No. God, she's from California. So, she's... Both of my girls are doing really well there. My youngest is actually coming here for Christmas, so I'm glad because neither one of them have come to visit me yet. They will.
Oh, they will, yeah.
But this will be a good Christmas. And Idaho's, it's beautiful. It's not my home, though.
It doesn't have an ocean, bro.
No, it doesn't.
No, it does not.
No ocean at all. And to be honest with you, without getting too political, it doesn't have the people that are here. The people here, man, nobody complains. No. They work so hard. They're such nice. Everybody has treated us like family, and I gotta say that's what it's about. And in Idaho, I mean, we're in the state capital, and it gets a little. You may or may not want to keep this, but it gets a little old seeing guys walking around with AR-15s. I mean, it's like really. I've seen in my career.
Odd.
I've seen the bad side
really
of that.
Happen there?
And it's just like, God.
Yeah,
I mean, really?
That's crazy, yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Well, welcome to non-crazy town. Welcome to Puerto Vallarta. Thank you so much. Thanks for coming on the show. Thanks for being a listener. You said you're a listener on the
absolutely.
podcast.
Yeah, I love listening to your podcast.
Well, I appreciate that a lot. Of course, that means a whole lot to me. And it means a lot to JR over here who,
40 years here.
Yeah, unbelievable. Yeah, well, I'm gonna have JR. I'm gonna have JR on the show. We're gonna get him. We're gonna get him to this one this time.
Well, thank you, Barry.
Thank you so much, Jim. Thanks for coming on. I really appreciate. Thanks for giving my audience a little bit of taste of what it's like to maybe make a little transition. Come on over here and make that move. I really appreciate that, and they do too.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Oh, Jim. I know. You got to live 1 foot here and 1 foot there. Now, last, I got a chance to interview the host of the meetup himself, and that was JR. My wife was really impressed, actually, with the fact that JR still gets around at his ripe old age of 83. He is very nimble. So, we had him fill us in on his recipe for the Fountain of Youth. And with that, take it away, JR.
And JR is here at his own meet and greet, and which I came in and hijacked. Thanks, JR.
And I was late because my computer clock went haywire.
Yeah, I mean, how did that happen? But
I don't know.
Well, you made it. You made it about the same time I did.
My computer's got a mind of its own.
So tell us, what's going on? How's everything going?
All right. Well, no. I was listening to your prior conversation and thinking about how much healthier I am here. Because basically I walk a lot.
Yeah, you sure do.
I don't drive everywhere.
When JR walks a lot, when he says he walks a lot, he has to go up. How many stairs do you have to go up to get into your house?
I think it's about 30.
About 30, yeah. I mean, it's a long way. It's not like a quick little hop, skip, and a jump to get up to your house.
No, I go up and down 2 or 3 times a day.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, now you're 83, right?
83.
You're 83. Okay. So tell us what are the benefits? Tell us about these benefits about living in Mexico and living a life like you do.
All right. In my view, it is the availability of really good produce for cooking.
Uh-huh.
I cook.
Yeah.
I don't eat out. I seldom eat out. It's not necessarily financial. It's really more about health-wise, right? And I bake my own bread, right?
You do.
I bake.
Your bread baking has actually saved me on several occasions. He bakes these rolls and sourdough, and he gives them to me. And one day I got nothing to eat. I'm on a bus to El Tuito, and I reach in, and there's sourdough bread from JR.
All right. Yeah. Well, I just resurrected my starter because it died. But I had a freeze-dried starter in the freezer, so I resurrected it. And actually, I also started one for Treasure, who is Sean's wife.
Yeah, over here at Nacho Daddy.
Here at Nacho Daddy.
Yeah.
And she's got a starter going now,
Very
right, which is really good.
So
Anyhow, so I mean, my lifestyle changed. In LA, although I did walk to the farmer's market on Saturday, generally I had to drive somewhere in order to buy food.
Yeah, sure.
Because in the United States, the corner shops don't exist anymore.
Right.
All right, I've got a corner shop right now across the road from me that I can get hot bolillos in the morning. I mean, they're hot.
Yeah.
And basically anything I want, a few pesos more than what I would pay elsewhere.
Right.
But the convenience, it's just 30 steps down and 30 steps up.
There you go. And not only that, but it's hot, it's baked, and it's fresh when you get it. Yeah.
And it's exercise.
No preservatives added. And exercise for you.
Right.
That's right. 60 steps. There we go.
And the guy there who speaks English, we have conversations about football because he's a football.
Yes, one of those soccer fans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Not past carry ball. And so we talk about football with each other. He knows my team and everything.
Yeah.
And so I'm paying a few extra pesos a little bit, but the convenience, it's right across the road on the corner.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah. So I know that you cook all your own food. I know you go get yourself a chicken probably once every other week, and that'll last you for the entire week, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I buy my chicken from Yuya, the chicken lady in the market.
In the market over at the Emiliano Zapata
once
market.
when I was buying it at 10 o'clock in the morning, I said to her in Spanish, when was this chicken running around? And she said, a las 3 en la mañana.
There you go, see?
So that's pretty fresh.
I would say that's fresh, yeah. Yes. So yeah, I mean, this is kind of like a little bit of an elixir, right? It's a bit of a life extender for you, isn't it?
Oh yeah, no. It's like when you get to know people in the neighborhood, it's like they become like lifelong friends.
Yeah.
I mean, it's when I went to get my chicken yesterday. You had a new carrier bag for me, with the 2024 calendar on it.
Oh wow! Wow! Look at that! It's Christmas time already. Look at that!
Yeah.
Order your
all the people
now.
in the market I know. My butcher, Checo, and the guys Esmeralda and Enrique at the deli, where I can buy my bacon sliced however thick I want it. And they have all these sorts of imported things that most people go to Costco or somewhere like that to get.
Yeah, it's handy,
and
isn't
I'm
it?
probably paying a few pesos more, but I don't have to drive there.
Oh, yeah, look at all the money you save just by not having to hop into a cab, right?
Right. For what it would cost him in the cab.
Yeah, both ways, remember?
It's no cheaper.
No, absolutely right. Smart move. What else is new? Anything else happening? How did everything go? Your house survived the hurricane. I was just there the other day. You still have a roof.
We had a big tree fell down up the road a block. I mean, a huge tree.
Right.
And it was planted up high. It wasn't planted at street level. And it fell and jammed right against the building on the other side of the street.
Oh, wow.
And so that stopped the garbage truck from coming by, but they figured it out the next day. But eventually they came and they chopped it up and took it away.
Yeah. And things are back to normal again all around
almost,
here.
Except for the sign on the other side of the bridge
on the street.
It used to point to where you wanted to go to Paso Ancho.
Oh, yeah.
You know, or the Libramiento.
Right.
And that fell down, and it's still there.
It's still laying there. Yeah, it sure is. It sure is. Well, they'll figure it out, right? They'll figure it out.
And then the what's it called? Waterworks.
Oh, Siapal.
The Siapal pumping station on the other side of the river, down below, or just this side of Gringo Gulch. After the first flood, they rebuilt all the tubes and everything and encased them in concrete.
Oh, yeah.
On concrete piles and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gone again.
Took them all out. Yes, I saw that. You
took
pointed
it all
those out
to
again.
Us.
Yeah.
You know, they got to really figure this out.
They got to figure it out. Yeah, because these floods come like every year. It seems like nowadays.
And the river's been widened at that point.
Right, and also deeper too. It's deeper too.
Well, not really deeper, but widened.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah.
That was the main idea, and plus the sidewalk on the way to Ramansi got destroyed as well.
I saw that.
In the last, and it wasn't it wasn't the hurricane. It was just water.
Yeah.
It was just a water. It was a storm. Water storm.
Yeah.
No hurricane, no winds or anything. But the winds on the hurricane were, I had to close all the windows and stuff, you know.
A little scary, or was it pretty manageable where you were up in
No, I thought it was
Coloso?
rather exciting. Of course, I was stoned out of my mind, but...
Of course you were.
Yeah, well... Okay, all the posts about rescuing dogs and stray dogs in Puerto Vallarta.
Yeah.
In my opinion, there were very few stray dogs in Puerto Vallarta. There's a lot of dogs, particularly in my neighborhood, that run around all day, but they're not strays. They belong in a house.
They belong to somebody,
but
right?
They go out every day and mark their territory and leave little deposits on the sidewalk that you have to look out for.
Yes, they do.
Cats as well, and chickens.
Chickens too, right?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. These driveway chickens, you're saying they're pets, these driveway chickens?
No, these are street chickens.
Street chickens, yeah. yeah.
Anyhow, so I just wondered how many of those, quote, stray dogs get rescued and end up in Canada.
Oh, right.
I mean, they were just going out to mark their territory and they end up in Canada.
It's like, you know what? I don't understand what happened. Here I was in warm Puerto Vallarta. I just wanted to take a leak, and then some Canadian picked me up and took me out to the frozen tundra. Oh,
exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, it's like, well, there's
Now, come on, JR, you know that some of these people do good work.
In town.
Yes, there are.
All right, and the gringo population are responsible for a lot of them.
Yeah, oh yeah, right? Absolutely.
We have the cougars who don't have children anymore, who have animals as substitute children.
Yeah, that's right.
And then we got the gay couples who can't have children.
Right.
So they have a lot of little dogs.
They have little dogs, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But a huge number of dogs.
There's no doubt about it. Yeah, there is no shortage of dogs. No shortage of dogs in Puerto Vallarta. But I love that. That's a great story.
Anyhow, yeah. So all those stray dogs.
Think twice before you rescue a stray dog. Think twice. It might be somebody else's. Right. Giving those poor guys frostbite. JR, hey, remember, all you folks, if you're listening to this, you're listening to JR, remember, if you're going to be buying a tour in Puerto Vallarta, you want to go and you want to see his website, of course, is at vallartainfo.com. That's www.vallartainfo.com. I have those links all over my website, of course. And, JR, thanks for coming on the show, brother. Thank you for coming back.
No, that's all right.
It's good to see you, and thanks for coming on and talking with the listeners. They've been missing you, brother.
Okay, guys. Good to talk to you.
All right, thank you, JR. Yes, I oftentimes think about those freezing Mexican rescue dogs up in the cold tundra in Canada. I don't know. Anyway. Hey, I forgot this time to talk with JR about the Mexican healthcare system, about his insurance that he has with them and his experience. So I'm going to have to wait till we return to Paradise. Actually, we are going to be returning to Paradise the middle of February. I'll be talking about that maybe next week. And hey, we're going to be very, very excited to be returning to Paradise to continue our home search and to record some really cool interviews. Now, next up, the headliner to this podcast is a man who makes his own headlines. He's an entertainer, he's a singer, he's a performer. His name is Kevin Anthony II. He was introduced to me by my buddy Marsha Blondin about a year ago. Marsha, as you know, is from the PV Mirror. And I met him at Act 2. There was a charity event happening there. They were raising funds for the Vallarta Food Bank. And by the way, I have embedded a very lovely video that was sent to me just recently by Jimmy Pluff from the Vallarta Food Bank. It's in the show notes. Check it out. It's very touching. Donate. That's all I can tell you about that. Hey, let's get back right over to Kevin. So yeah, I met Kevin at that event. But later, I was sent a message by listener Chris from Colorado, who suggested that I have Kevin on the podcast. Well, I couldn't help myself. The universe was reaching out to me, so I took the opportunity to reach out to Kevin. I invited him for a little breakfast. I figured if I could plan with some delicious breakfast at Mi Cafe, then he'd give me his story. And he did. Now, it was really loud over at Mi Cafe. I used a few tricks to eliminate most of the noise for you, and I think that you're going to be you'll really like the result. Now, a couple weeks back, when I was interviewing Jesus from La Huerta Barbecue and Sports Bar, yes, that's right, it is now La Huerta Barbecue and Sports Bar. They have TVs now where you can watch the games, and it's a pretty darn good idea, if you ask me. Anyway, if you listen to that interview, you might think that we're kind of yelling at each other a couple of places there. But in reality, there was a lot of loud music behind us. And I took out all the music from the band that was playing behind us. And the band was Styx. The Styx were playing there. And it worked like a charm. And it didn't compromise the audio quality whatsoever. It was really, really great. Go back and check and listen to that interview that I had with Jesus and let me know what you think about that. Anyway, there was music. It was all gone. Anyway, it's like magic. So anyway, I did a similar thing this time around. So anyway, let's go right now. Let's meet a guy that you're really you're gonna like him. Let's go to Mi Cafe, Madero 505 in the Zona Romantica, and let's meet Kevin Anthony II. Let's talk about entertainment. Actually, and a little real estate too in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico.
Kevin,
Yes, sir.
Thanks for coming on the show today.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for inviting me.
Tell my audience a little bit about yourself. Where are you from, and what was your path that led you to Puerto Vallarta?
Oh my gosh, how much time do your listeners have?
Well, I don't know. Let's take a little short path.
We'll take a short path. I am originally from Boston, Massachusetts, but I consider myself a New Yorker as I spent most of my life there in New York City. I come from the Broadway stage. I did a lot of traveling the U.S., about 28 different countries in my journey. And I ended up, believe it or not, as a guest entertainer on a cruise ship.
Really?
Yes.
That happened. You know what? That happens to some of the best people that I've had on this show. Wow.
Well, that's good to hear. At least it's not one of the worst people that,
Oh, no, it's not.
Yeah. So I did that. And I am, believe it or not, Puerto Vallarta was one of the stops that the cruise ship came to. And we spent an overnight here. So I fell in love with Puerto Vallarta then. But I happened to be on vacation from the cruise line, and my best friend and his family said, well, why don't you come and spend a vacation with us this Christmas? And where were they going? Puerto Vallarta. So I said, sure, I'm not working. And we went to the Vidanta Resort. They owned up there. And one night, my best friend just says, hey, let's go listen to the live band. I've heard them before. They're really good. And I did. And the headliner that night was going around the audience trying to get people to get up and sing, and no one would. And she literally came over to my side and she said, how about you, sir? Would you get up and sing? So I got up and sang.
To make you his possession, and it will let you let it be your every almost came. Precaution every enjoy your love, your
it just so happened that the vice presidents of entertainment happened to be in town. Out of the 7 resorts, they happened to be there that night, heard me sing, and offered me a job.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing. So now, what year was that?
Okay, so now I've been here for almost 7 years, so about 7 years ago.
7 years ago. Mm-hmm. Well, so come on, what happened then?
So they asked me if I could stay. I said I have no performance clothes. I'm on vacation. I went home, repacked, spent 5 days in New York, packing up, settling things, moved, worked at Vidanta for 3 years.
Wow.
And decided to make my venture down to Puerto Vallarta, downtown to the Zona Romantic. And the very first place and the very first person I worked for was Danny Menini at Act Two.
Really? Mm-hmm. Wow. All right. So you, your life is, it's sounding like you walk into these things. I mean, it's pretty amazing.
It is. I wish I could say that I strategically plan my life, but I have not. Things that have happened to me just have surprised me that they even taken place.
Yeah, yeah. All right. So what was it like working for Vidanta? I mean, you were singing, right? I mean, that was your deal, right?
Yeah,
I
was a headliner.
Job. And you were a headliner at, is it the one over here in Nayarit?
Yes.
Ah, okay. So you're just over the line. Just over the state line, right?
Just
there.
over the state line into Nayarit. And I was doing that simultaneously still as a guest entertainer on Carnival Cruise Line. So they would still fly me out on Carnival. I would do ships and then come back. But I was full time with Vidanta.
You're working hard.
Yeah.
Wow.
7 days a week, of course. Yeah.
Well, no wonder you wanted to move over here. So you ran into Danny Menini, and then what happened?
I sent Danny an email because I had seen an incredible duo act at Act 2 called Us Two. And I had seen them do an Earth, Wind, and Fire show. And I was like, oh, this is a nice theater. I'm no stranger to theaters, having done Broadway. And I just sent him an email. I said, hey, I'm in town. This is what I've been doing. And, I would love to do a show there. He called me in. I met with him and his other team members and, pitched my shows. I had a couple of show ideas to them. I pitched my Lionel Richie Stevie Wonder tribute show.
Okay.
And that was the first show that I did down in this area. And yeah, I was with Act 2 for a good chunk of time.
Wow. All right. Now, since Danny passed on, there's new owners there. Yes. What's going on over there?
They actually have the same owners.
Okay.
So Danny had partners, Alfonso and Oscar. I don't know their last names, but they were also Danny's business partners when he was still here. Danny and I became really good friends. I know people have lots of interesting things to say about Danny. They warned me even before I went and worked with him, but I never let anyone else's opinions or interpretations, decide what I do. So I decide for myself. And he always treated me with respect. He was kind to me. He was a visionary. He was as crazy as anyone else, I think, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
And he actually, before he passed, he had just made me the entertainment director. What was it? There's two. Because Alfonso was the creative director. Yeah. So I was entertainment director over at Act 2. I had to make sure I get it right.
Yes, you do. Sure.
And so I did a lot of the, was handling a lot of the live music. And then, of course, he passed and I stayed on a little bit longer after that.
Right. Because there was a little bit of confusion as to what was going on when he passed.
There was the other two owners stepped up to the plate. I continued on with my entertainment director position, but being honest, and this is nothing that I told them first when I decided that I was going to leave. It was just the vision, the reason I signed on and what I wanted to do at Act 2. I found that their vision was a little bit different than mine. Yeah. Whereas Danny said, pretty much that I could do whatever I wanted there. The new owners, they had a different way. And you know what? They didn't do anything wrong. Was within their rights to, like, we're now the owners, we want to do it this way. Yeah, so Danny, unfortunately, was no longer with us. So I just gracefully bowed out and said, hey, listen, our visions are a little bit different. So I'm going to resign from my position as entertainment director. And that's what I did. They were understanding.
Yeah, good. Well, that's the way we all want it all to be.
Yeah.
And, so from there, where to? So
from there, I finished up. I was still doing a series of shows at Act 2. I finished up there. And then from there, I did some shows at La Katrina Cantina.
Uh-huh.
But immediately after that, I went over to Encanto with Tracy Parks.
Ah, yeah.
And because I used to go to Encanto. I loved going to Encanto, having my martinis. It was such a quaint, small, but talented venue, like a performance. So I went over there and Tracy was like, hey, you're interested in helping me out, coming on board. So I came on board and worked with Tracy, and he used to always say, oh, Kevin's me when he's not here. And it was a great experience. I mean, I'd run a restaurant before because I had owned a restaurant in New York City. So it was great.
Yeah.
It was great. And I did different shows and got to work with a lot of different artists, and working with the staff again was great, bartenders, waiters. Encanto was more like my venue in New York City.
Right. So when you said you were doing a show that featured music,
Lionel Richie and Stevie Wonder.
Is that kind of your genre? Is that, or are you? What else do you like?
I'm a soul singer.
Yeah.
I'm a soul singer, but I've had the luxury to do all kinds of music, from country to pop to rock. I love doing rock music because to me, rock music and as country and soul music go hand in hand. Because it's all about telling stories, which is why I love singing those genres.
Yeah. Beautiful.
And I'm a storyteller.
Excellent. And you make a wonderful MC. I mean, I've seen you MC a couple of events.
Thanks.
And you are very, you're out there, and you really, you're a people person. I could tell right away.
I'm kind of fond of people.
Yeah, I would say, right?
Yeah.
Now, what are you up to now? What are you doing?
So I just finished working at Encanto, and I closed my series of shows. And I said that I was going to slow down, and I wasn't going to do as many shows. Basically, what I said was that I wasn't going to do as many weekly shows, like runs of shows like I did with my Lionel Richie. Tracy Parks encouraged me to do something for a couple of years that I resisted doing, and that was my Broadway show, talking about my Broadway experience. So I did that, and it was called Broadway Soul. So that show ran, and I ended that show. And I decided that, during this slow season, I just wouldn't work as hard. I was working for 7 days a week for 6 months, singing and helping Tracy. And I just felt like I really needed to take a break.
Yeah.
Well, of course, as my life always ends up, is there ever such thing as a break? You don't know, because I was having an interesting conversation with Ryan Donner of Ryan Donner and Associates, the realtor company.
He's a real estate agent, yeah.
Yeah, and they have like Kim Kuzma, who is an incredible singer. She kind of really helped kick off the entertainment industry here in town. And Derek Cochner, who is a pianist. And I was talking with Ryan, and honestly, I was having this cheeky conversation with him, like, well, you didn't ask me to be a realtor. And, he was like, if you're serious, we can talk about that.
Huh?
And in real estate, it was something that I've always been interested in my travels, because I've got to travel and live in various countries. But because I was always working, I never was able to settle down and do anything seriously.
Right.
After deciding to move to Puerto Vallarta and, getting my permanent residency, because I've been here so long, I was like, now's a good time. It's a good time for me to do something different, exercise some other muscles. And so I said, yeah, Ryan, I am interested. So we spoke, we talked about it, and yeah, we signed a contract, and I'm one of the newest real estate agents in the thousands of real estate agents in Puerto Vallarta.
Yeah, but how many of them can actually sing to you when they're selling your house?
I don't know, but if I could make a sale and sing a song, I will sing a song.
You will do it. I know you'll do it.
To anyone that's out there listening.
I would do it. You'll do it. That's for sure, right?
But
can you tell us a little bit about what's going on during the off season as far as entertainment goes? Can you fill us in?
Yeah, there are a lot of us performers, international performers, that are here year round. But more importantly, there are also tons of local artists that live here, that are from here, that perform also all year round. So during this off season, or slow season as we call it, the entertainment industry is still booming. You've got people like Luis Villanueva, Tony Kenneth, Deanna Biamonte. I mean, there's so many incredible,
and they're all in
artists.
town. They're all in town.
They're all still doing shows. I continue to do shows during the off season. Normally, this is the season that I'm at La Catrina Cantina.
Yeah.
Which is Thursday nights. This is my plug.
Okay, there you go. Listen up, everybody.
So I do La Catrina the second Thursday and the fourth Thursday of every month. Okay. That's at 7:30 on La Catrina. And, it's just me, and I perform for a lot of the locals and visitors.
Okay.
But I also do the first Wednesday and the third Wednesday of the month. I'm at Garbo's at 10:30 at night. Let me just say this. I have not done a 10:30 show in so long. I did not even know that my voice would still be awake. I'm normally sitting at a bar by 10:30. But I've been having so much fun at Garbo, and they've been so kind and welcoming. So, so I do those two shows.
Uh-huh.
This last Sunday, I just closed Nacho Daddy, my So Much Soul with my live band We were doing the last Sunday of every month. We just closed that. We won't be back to Not Your Daddy until October.
Okay.
So,
very.
yeah.
Wow. Okay. All right. So there's lots to do. There's lots in town. Just get with all the clubs that are around.
Yeah.
Get with the La Catrina Cantino. They have their own app, by the way.
Yes.
It's called PV Now. Yes.
Yeah, PV Now that Juan created, which lists all of the entertainment in town, and it's a worthy app to download because it's seeing it all in one place.
Yeah,
you don't have to go to various websites of the venues. You can see it all in one place and know what's going on.
Yeah, it's very nice too because it's not just for the La Catrina Cantina; it's for everything. So. Download the app if you're interested in the entertainment. That's see what's going on.
Because everyone is open, right? Yeah. Like Act 2 is still open. The Palm is going to be closing down for a couple of weeks. But La Catrina is lively. Encanto is lively. There's lots going on during this season and these are local artists and artists that are still here that are surviving on your patronage, on the people to come out and to see them. So it's really important to support these local artists.
Absolutely. So if you're in town during the off season or you're living in town and stuff like that, that's an app you definitely need to go. And La Catrina Cantina, that's a great little venue there. I mean, you can dance there. I mean, it is really nice.
And they support, the Mexican singers, you know what I mean? So you don't just get the same thing. Yeah. You don't just get English, American, Canadian singers, whatever. You get the local singers with the local flavor, the local flair. So it's a very special venue.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move away from entertainment. Let's go. Okay. Let's find out a little bit about your personal life. Let's find out about what you like to eat. Okay. This is the bonus round. This is where people say it's one of their favorites because they get a chance to find out what people who live here actually go and eat. And so, if you had maybe a favorite breakfast place that you could share with, maybe one or two favorite breakfast places you could share with listeners, what would that be?
Okay. So let me first say that I am a foodie. I love to eat, but I also love to cook. So I will normally have breakfast at home. Okay. I have been to Mi Cafe, which we
Yeah, we're here, by the way. And thank you, Adalberto, for letting us sit in your seats. I appreciate that. But what a great place, huh?
So I've been here several times for breakfast because I love the breakfast. Also, normally during the high seasons, Encanto has, and a lot of people don't know that Encanto has breakfast, and you can sit out on the deck, and it's really beautiful, and they have a great breakfast. So I do that quite a bit.
They also have a pianist usually out there too.
Yeah,
they'll
have live. They have brunch. They have live musicians, violin players.
Yeah, so that's a nice place.
It's a nice atmosphere. Yeah. So I do that. Lunch. Let's see. Where would I go? Blue Shrimp is one. I'm there so often they know me by name.
Really,
literally.
Yeah.
Because it's right on the beach. And I actually am a pescatarian. So I only eat seafood.
Okay.
Only seafood. And so they have great seafood. So I go there. I have the local taco truck, and I don't even know the name of it, but I can tell you exactly where it is because it's the only one like it, and it's on Basilio Badillo, and it's a red taco stand going towards the tunnel.
Okay.
So going north. Right, that would be going there. Yeah. So going north, and it's a red taco stand, and it is my favorite taco stand in town.
So they're selling seafood. They're selling.
They're one of the few that sells camarones, that sells shrimp tacos.
Really.
Shrimp burritos. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, they do lots of other things, but they have that. I will sometimes, and I'm gonna guilty pleasure. I will sometimes have lunch and dinner at that taco stand.
Send me a picture of it so I can put it in the show notes. Okay,
I will.
I appreciate it, Kevin. All right.
One block up from the 200 highway.
Okay, all right, very good.
And then, of course, I'm a sushi eater. I love.
So, what's the best sushi in town? What do you like?
Oh, okay.
I mean, I don't want to get you in trouble. You can say a couple of places. This is cool.
This is my problem. My problem is I know where they are. Sometimes I don't know the names of where they are.
It's okay. That's
there is a sushi place at the bottom of Act 2 in the corner.
Okay.
That I oftentimes will eat before the show. And then there's another one that's a little bit fancier, and I cannot remember the name. But I think I'll send you the name, and then you can insert it.
Oh, I'll insert
in
it.
Editing.
And I'll tell you all about it.
The power of editing.
It is the power of editing. And, the entertainer across from me knows all about the power from editing. I like that. I love that.
Well, you hold it all in your hands.
I hear you. Exactly right. That's exactly right. How about what's your favorite place to watering hole? What is your favorite bar? What do you like?
Oh yeah, so I have a couple of those as well, because people that come to my show know, and I have to say it for any of my people that follow me. I call them my show warriors that are following. They know what I'm going to say. I'm going to say I love the Lord, but I drink a little. And my drink of choice is Grey Goose.
There you go.
I've been trying to get a sponsorship from Grey Goose for a long time.
All right.
But my favorite watering hole, I love going to Raina's, which is a local bar.
Yeah.
And then there's also a new bar called the Tunnel Bar.
Well, tell me about the Tunnel Bar.
Tunnel Bar is right by the tunnel, and it's very small, but it's air conditioned. So I really love it.
Yeah, yeah.
And Tamale and a couple of other business partners, they opened it. It's only been open for a few months.
So that's interesting. Okay, I know the Tunnel Bar because I interviewed the guy who built that, and actually I'm going to have an interview with him shortly coming up on the Puerto Vallarta Travel Show. So thank you for that.
That's a smart guy right there.
Yeah.
Savvy businessman.
Alan Carswell,
yeah.
All right, that's a interesting bar. I have not been there yet. I've got to get out there right now.
Yeah, you need to.
Yeah.
They sell hot dogs.
They do. All right. Well, then that's it. Wait, are they bacon wrapped? Are they bacon wrapped?
I don't think they're bacon wrapped.
I know. Okay, never mind. He's a pescatarian over here, and I'm asking if it's bacon wrapped. Hey, do they use a pig for that? Okay, never mind, Barry. Stop it.
I support your use of.
Thank you. I appreciate.
Don't feel bad.
I do appreciate that. I do. And I support yours as well.
Thank you.
So if you were going to leave town for like a day and just come back, where would you go? What would you do?
Well, okay. There are a couple of places that I want to go that I haven't been to. I've been in town for almost 7 years, but I haven't been able to travel quite as much because I work 7 days a week.
Yeah, you're a busy man.
I've been dying to get to San Miguel. I've been dying to get to Mexico City. I've been to Ajijic, but I would go back to Ajijic, Guadalajara area.
What did you think about Ajijic? And as an entertainer, is there a place for you in Ajijic?
There is, and Steve is going to kill me because I can't remember his last name because I'm a man of a certain age. But
take a number, brother.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Steve kind of produces entertainment, not kind of. He produces entertainment for the Lake Chapala Society.
Okay.
Out in Ajijic, and he brings artists like myself and Diana Viamonte and the Three Tenors, just a slew of people. He brings us out there to do his Concert in the Park series.
Cool.
And it's really popular. It's always sold out. Also, he's been working with a brand new theater it's been remodeled. And he brought myself and Deanna and Megan out there. And it is a fantastic venue. Brand new, state of the art, and wonderful. So Ajijic has a place in my heart because I've met so many wonderful people that live there.
Yeah. Well, if you were gonna is it a sleepier town? Is it like a sleepier town than Vallarta? What is it
it's
like?
It's definitely different from Vallarta. I won't say the word sleepy town.
Okay.
Because I used to think, the carpets roll up at 10 p.m. and everything's and there's a little bit of truth to that. Some of the places close early. But the last time I was there, we found this venue that, this one bar stayed open specifically for us. Then as we were leaving, we heard what we knew, there's a live band playing. And we followed the sound, and there was this little bar that had a rock band playing, and they were singing in Spanish and in English, and the place was packed, and we partied for hours there.
So then, not so sleepy.
Not so sleepy after all, Ajijic.
How about that? So that's not too far of a drive. If you were going to get out there, it's about, 4 or 5 hours?
Well,
Or is it longer than that?
It's about 6.
Oh, it's okay.
I mean, they've opened up the new toll road, the highway,
Yeah.
which, from what I understand, costs about $60 in tolls to get there.
Yikes.
Something to remember.
Yeah, yeah.
So a lot of us will just take the
old
bus because the bus is, and I won't drive there in my car the old way because you have to go up through the mountains, and a lot of cars don't make it.
Oh, they don't make it, yeah.
And I have a 2002 Volkswagen Beetle. So
You got one of those.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, there's a lot of those around here. There's a lot of Volkswagen Beetles around here.
Yes.
It's
But
like
unlike mine, the black and white convertible classic sedan.
Oh man.
It was made in 2002 and they stopped making them in 2003.
Oh, it's beautiful. All right, we all know you're gonna know if you see that car, you see that Beetle going down the street, you know it's Kevin.
That's the scary part.
That's right. If you had a word of advice for a first-time traveler to Puerto Vallarta, what would that be?
I would say, remember that you are in someone else's country. You are in someone else's home. They don't have to speak your language. You need to attempt to speak theirs. So to be patient because I think sometimes we expect things to be done in a certain way and rapidly, and that's not always the case around the world and in other countries. So come with a little bit of patience and understanding, and remember, just because someone doesn't speak your language doesn't mean that they're not intelligent.
Or that they can understand what you're saying.
Exactly. Exactly.
How about a word of warning? Got any words of warning for somebody?
Well, I move throughout the world this way, right? The same way everywhere I go. I'm always cautious about my surroundings. So how I act when I'm home in New York City, how I'm aware at home in New York City is how I'm aware everywhere I go around the world. So I'm always cautious. I don't let down my guards,
Yeah, that's the way to do it. That's the way to do it. Well, let's get back to you. Let's get back to you now.
Oh, no. That's horrible. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. It's really tough. These entertainers, they hate to talk about themselves.
I hate talking
it's
about
just
me.
Not good. Not good. You have a fan page. How do people find you, Kevin?
Well, they can find me on Facebook. It's Kevin Anthony, Roman numeral 2. So they call it the second, my friends. But Kevin Anthony, you can find me on Facebook. I don't have a fan page. I've always felt uncomfortable with that. So I also have, for real estate, I have a Facebook page. It's Kevin Anthony Realty. Yeah, Realtor.
Mm-hmm.
It's a new page.
It's a new page. He's got to think about that.
But you can get it from Kevin Anthony too, though.
There you go.
Yeah, and of course, Instagram, B2 Productions, the letter B, the number 2 Productions. Yeah.
Very good. Very good. I'm going to have all those links in the show notes. Of course, you can find it at www.puertovallartatravelshow.com. You want to get a hold of Kevin, find out where he's going to be next. I'm sure that you'll be able to figure that out.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to get a hold of him to sell you a house and sing into your ear about owning a house in paradise.
Only at the signing.
Only after signing. Yeah, he is not looking for any looky-loos. All right, he wants real clients here. But coming from a realtor, I can tell you that is exactly what he needs. So. Is there anything that I missed? Is there something we forgot to talk about today, Kevin?
A lot of people don't know that I have 2 grown children and 2 grandchildren.
Yeah.
My grandchildren are 18 and 15.
Wow.
My kids are 37 and 33.
Wow.
Is
Well,
that right?
You started early, Kevin.
I had my first at 23.
Wow.
Yeah. So they're everything to me.
I believe that, and as are ours too. Well, that's wonderful to know. And like I said, you're going to find the links to the Facebook and to the Instagram and all that other good stuff in the show notes, and as well as the real estate page. You find it at www.puertovallartatravelshow.com. I'll have Kevin's smiling face I'll have Kevin on stage in different different poses so that you can see that.
And they don't know I'm posing now.
Oh, no, but exactly. Hey, no, we aren't posers. We are real. We're the real thing. Kevin, Anthony, I want to thank number two. I want to thank you so much for coming on the show today, for allowing me to introduce you to my listeners. I truly appreciate that.
Well, thank you so much for the invitation. I'm really honored and was very excited to be here. So it was great. Thank you so much. And we'll see you at one of my shows.
All right. Thank you, Kevin. Kevin, you are amazing. His voice is amazing. He's a great guy. I have links to his Instagram page, his Facebook, his YouTube, the whole thing is in the show notes at www.puertovallartatravelshow.com. Kevin also is doing the brunch over at La Capella. He's doing a dinner show over at Coco's with Kim Kuzma. And, you just have to go over to his Facebook page, find out what he's up to be able to catch him the next time you are in town. You'll be so happy that you did. Well, okay. Well, that should do it for this week. Next week, stay tuned for more on-the-ground reports from Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, with travel tips, great restaurant excursion ideas, and more. But until then, remember that this is an interactive show where I depend on your questions and your suggestions about all things Puerto Vallarta. If you think of something that I should be talking about, well, reach out to me by clicking on the Contact Us tab and sending us your message. And remember, if you're considering booking any type of tour while you're in Puerto Vallarta, you must go to vallartainfo.com. That's JR's website. Reserve your tour through him right from his website. Remember, this is a value for value proposition. His experience and on-the-ground knowledge of everything Puerto Vallarta in exchange for your making a purchase of a tour that you would do anyway. You're just doing it through him as a way of saying thank you. Thanks, JR, for being our guide. It costs no more than if you were going to use someone else. So do it, really. And when you do take one of these tours, email me about your experiences. Maybe you can come on board and share with others what you liked or didn't like about the tour. Again, contact me by clicking on the Contact Us tab and sending off a message. And don't forget his maps, his DIY tours, and I have links to all of those in the show notes. Once again, if you like this podcast, please take the time to subscribe, follow, share with a lover of Puerto Vallarta. Give me a good review, whoever or however you happen to be listening. That way we can get the word out to more and more people about the magic of this place, Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. Remember, I made it easy for you to do just that with each episode I create. But if you haven't been to my website, you really need to have a look there. I have links to the places that we talk about, interesting pictures, and more right there in the blog posts and in the show notes for each episode of the shows. Check them out for sure if you haven't already. All right? All right. Thank you, Kevin Anthony II. Check him out wherever he happens to be appearing. Stalk his Facebook page for his schedule. Hey, buy a house from him. Come on. He's in the business, too. And thanks to Catherine Caldera, Jimmy Duche, and JR for coming to the meet and greet. And thanks so much for all your contributions to the show. Once again, check out the links and the maps in the show notes. And thanks to all of you for listening all the way through this episode of the Puerto Vallarta Travel Show. This is Barry Kessler signing off with a wish for you to slow down, be kind, and live Vallarta lifestyle. Nos vemos, amigos.
Samba de Puerto Vallarta, noche de amor junto al mar. Solo camino eterno por la playa, me encuentro junto al río cuando todo está en calma. Pronto cae la la noche brillas Puerto Vallarta, samba de Puerto Vallarta, noche de arrullo en el mar, samba de Puerto Vallarta.